Some people don't trust people by asking questions. They trust them by creating silent little tests they never admit are tests. If that made your stomach tighten, stay, because you probably aren't protecting yourself the way you think you are. You're texting someone, they reply 5 minutes later, you see the notification, then you leave it there. Not because you're busy, because you want to know what they'll do if you disappear first. You cancel plans at the last minute, just once. You tell yourself you needed space, but a small part of you is secretly watching. Do they ask if you're okay, or do they simply move on? You never call it a test. You call it seeing people's true colors. The strange part is, you don't even realize you're creating the situation you're trying to measure. You believe trust is something people prove, so you quietly build tiny obstacles, tiny silences, tiny disappointments, tiny chances for someone to fail. Not cruel, just careful. And every time someone passes one test, another one appears. Because the real thing you're trying to measure has nothing to do with them and everything to do with something you still haven't looked at. The first sign is that you rarely ask for what you need. You hint instead. You hope they'll notice your silence. You hope they'll hear the change in your voice. You hope they'll remember something you mentioned weeks ago. If they notice, they pass. If they don't, you quietly subtract points they never knew existed. Not ignored, just expecting mind reading. The second sign is that you pull away right after feeling close. Someone finally makes you feel safe. The conversation flows. You laugh harder than usual. You almost tell them something you've never said out loud. Then, the next morning, you become strangely distant. Your replies shrink. You disappear for a day. You tell yourself you're protecting your peace. But deep down, you're watching to see if they come looking. Not losing interest, just checking who stays. The third sign is that small disappointments feel much bigger than they should. They forget your favorite coffee. They miss one phone call. They don't notice you're quieter than normal. None of those things are really the problem. The problem is what your mind turns them into. If they cared, they would have known. They would have noticed. One tiny mistake becomes evidence. One ordinary moment becomes a verdict. Not overreacting, just collecting proof. Then comes the hardest one. You forgive people, but you never completely stop observing them. Every apology becomes another experiment. Every promise becomes another countdown. You smile, you laugh, you spend time together, but somewhere in the back of your mind, the notebook never closes. You're still waiting, still measuring, still asking questions without saying a word. Not suspicious, just afraid of relaxing. Because relaxing feels dangerous. If you stop watching, someone might finally hurt you. So you keep testing, even the people who never asked to take the exam. And that's where everything quietly begins to break.
Here's the part almost nobody realizes. Most people who constantly test others aren't trying to discover who can be trusted, they're trying to prove that trust doesn't exist. Because if everyone eventually fails, then your old pain was right all along. That feels safer than risking being wrong. The tests become endless, not because people keep failing, because the finish line keeps moving. No one can win a game when only one person knows the rules. And eventually, the people who genuinely cared stop trying. Not because they never loved you, just because they never understood they were being examined. The saddest part isn't that people leave, it's that they leave believing they were never enough. While you stay convinced nobody ever stays. That's the trap, not the silence, not the distance, the invisible tests. So ask yourself this. What's one moment where you secretly hoped someone would notice something you never actually told them? If you want to understand people, subscribe to MindMorsels.